What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today I want to go over some play calling and game planning tips in College Football 26. Now, one of the best things about this game are the playbooks themselves. They're amazing. There are a bunch of them. They're a lot of fun to play with. The problem is most of them are very large. Here I am in the USC Air Raid playbook. This is the largest team playbook in the entire game. If you include all the special teams plays and Hail Mary plays, we're talking over 480 plays. That's ridiculously large. Not a single person on this earth needs 500 plays on a call sheet going into any game. I'm sorry, you just don't need it. That's overkill. So I want to go over some tips that will help you ease some of the process, because the biggest problem most people have is finding the plays they need for every single down. By the time they get to that play, they're wasting all that time on the play clock, and then you got to worry about all the pre-snap stuff. There's just a lot going on. So hopefully some of these tips will help you out. So the first tip I want to give you is to not use a full playbook as is and nothing more. So what I mean by that is you don't use any of these tips or features I'm going to show you, like the custom playbooks, game planning, favorites, none of that. You just pick a playbook and you're just picking plays. I highly suggest you don't do this because these are just too big. They're too far, deep, and wide. So one thing I want you to think about is button presses when going to find a play. Let's say we're in the middle of a game, it's 1st and 10. I know exactly what play I want to call, but if I use just the raw method, it may take me forever to get there. So let's think in terms of button presses. Let's pretend like I want to go over to this play right here. Y off trio weak. And how about in go, the one over here on the right, okay? So if you start at the very beginning of the gun section, here we are in the formation section, and you start at the very beginning, think of how many button presses there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, obviously, you're going to do that much quicker if that's the play you're going to go to first. But my point is, it takes 11 button presses just to get to that thing. That's why it's not worth it. I mean, just go through all these shotgun formations. You select on this, look at all this. It's ridiculous. So if you go through all these and then you go to a formation like this where there are 24 plays, imagine having to go all the way down here in the middle of it and, oh, there's my read option of this formation. That's what I want. Okay, it's just overkill. It just takes you forever. I just don't suggest you just raw playbook this thing and try to find the ones you're looking for. Okay. The next tip I want to give you is the favorites section. This is maybe the simplest way to do this. If your playbook is really small, your game plan is really small, your call sheet is really small. Most people don't need no more than like 30 plays per game to go into, depending on your situation, your roster, things of that nature. Okay, now here I am. You see over here on the right, it says 75. This is what I've been doing to count motion plays and such. I suggest you go to about 30 or less plays for your entire call sheet for that game. This includes your first downs, your second downs, your thirds, especially your fourths, things of that nature. If you can keep it under 30, it won't take you long at all. You will always stay in the favorites section, and all you have to do is hit the button about 5 or 6 times, and you know exactly where that play is at, and you're ready to roll. Okay? Now, if you need to go beyond this, you do not have to use the favorite section just for your entire game plan. For people who like to have 500 plays in their playbook, you can still use this section for other things. Maybe you want to use this for your openers. Now, real coaches love to use a script like their first 10 or so plays. These are the plays I want to go to. Usually what they do is pick plays that just go to their best players, make sure they touch the ball. There are a myriad of ways to go about using the favorites section, whether it's the full game plan or it is your openers. Make full use of this. Hopefully you don't have to go beyond the next few tips I'm about to show you. The next thing I'm going to talk about is using custom playbooks to simplify your play calling. Here we are on the home screen. Let's go over to Create and Share, and let's go to custom playbooks. Now, I haven't covered any custom playbook related topic for 26, mainly because nothing's changed since 25. That, and they still won't let you reorder plays. Don't get me started on that. It bugs me. But here we are in custom playbooks. You cannot create one from scratch. You have to select an existing playbook and work off of that, but that's fine. That's actually perfect for this video. Let's go to Create Offense, and since we are in the theme of USC, let's just go down to that playbook, and I'm going to go ahead and select it. And the 4 main sections of custom playbook is audibles, My Playbook, that just gives you all your current plays and formations. All plays, that's the entire play database. And then My Game Plan. The first one I want to talk about are audibles. You need to make full use of audibles. I don't care if you're a huddle, no huddle, flex bone, air raid. There's no reason not to use these. This is where you can make these adjustments permanently. Yes, you can make them like in practice mode and during the game on the fly, but they won't save. You got to do it here if you want to go that route. So the first thing about these is at least AA done a good job of kind of putting these in a certain spot. So let's go here like the Y-off trio week, okay? Notice we got 4 options: square, triangle, L1, and R1. You're going to notice that most of your like run plays are going to be in triangle. Most of your play actions, if there's one available in that formation, will be R1. L1 is usually like a deep pass play, and square is typically like a quick pass play. This hasn't changed since NCAA 14. You can definitely stick with this. So if you still want to go in here, you don't like halfback base, you can go select another run, for example, basic halfback sweep, and you're still good to go. If that's your mentality, if that's easier for you to stick with the 4 base concepts, by all means, stick with that. But I do want to give you one tip though. You may want to think about doing things via hash, especially with these 2 right here. Now, I'm a big hash guy. If I'm on the left hash and it's 3rd and 3, I want to go to my left hash plays and I know what to call there. A lot of real coaches do that, high school, college, NFL. So if you don't want to do the quick, the deep, and the play action, maybe you want to set these 2 up as your left hash. So pick your best left hash pass play and your best right hash pass play. Now, when it comes to the run game, I don't think it matters too much if you're on the left or right. Now, for example, this halfback sweep, yes, if you're doing this off the right hash, you're not going to have as much room to run to the right. But when it comes to pass plays, I think things open up a whole lot better if you're attacking one side of the field or the other. So just something to think about. If you want to go and use this, I suggest you go to like L1, for example, and go find a good left hash play. For example, maybe I want to go with like flood. Notice the flood concept, the zone part of it is attacking the strong side of the field. Maybe that's a good left hash play for me. And vice versa with R1 over here. I like that the bit more routes are going to the strong side of the field if I'm on the right, okay? So again, maybe you want to think about using L1 and R1 for hash purposes, okay? The last thing I want to talk about is game plan. Now, this is where your coach suggestions come from. This is where you can adjust these. So if you're just going to use the raw playbook, no custom playbook at all, do not use the coach suggestions in there because they're all pretty bad. I think EA just kind of dump plays in all of the situations that you see right here. Like you can go to 3rd and long and they call deep curl. That may not be a good 3rd and long play for you. Okay, now the one change to custom playbooks are all these sliders. They actually made it more difficult than it needed to be. Before, you see the rating at the bottom center here, it goes by star rating. So if I just keep going up on this, that star will just continue to go up and up. It just actually makes things even harder for it. It just takes a while. But one thing you can do is just make full use of these. So what you need to do is go old school with it. Write down on a piece of paper what you want to do for pretty much all of these situations. Now, you have to save a playbook. In order to do that, you got to make sure there's at least one play in every single one of these. Okay, if you are dead set on using coach suggestions. Okay, so what I suggest you do, like for first down, I suggest you put all your base plays in here. Just think about your top, I don't know, 15 or 20 plays, sort of from the favorite section we was talking about earlier. Your best 15 to 20, go up to 30 if you need to. Put them all right here. And the way you go do that is you go over to My Playbook, and then you go over to like halfback dive, for example. I'm going to go ahead and select that. I do not want to remove it. You want to go down here at the bottom where it says rate play. You select that, and then you go to whichever one you want to go to. Like say, for example, I want this to be a first down play all the way. So what you go do, notice this ain't even in order, which I think is just kind of goofy. But you go to first down, go all the way over here. This is a must first down play for me in the worst way. Again, this is goal line offense, but you kind of get my point here. So that's how you go select that. So once you're done with that, you go over to My Game Plan, and then you go over to your first down, and there it is right there. Okay, now it's a 5-star. It's at 100%. So that's how you go about doing that. So when I suggest you do your first down, maybe you want to put your top 15 or so plays at first down. Okay, now notice we got a second and long, second and medium. If you go and select second and long, what's it say here in the dead center? Second down with 8 or more yards to go. Now, if you want to get meticulous about this, you can have just a certain amount of plays just for second and long, or medium, or short, or third and long or medium or short. That will take you longer. I suggest you put all of your base plays, like I said, your 15 or best 20 or so for first down, and to put those exact same 15 or 20 for your second and long, your second and medium, and second and short. That way you can't mess up on if it's 3rd and 6. Are you sure if it's a medium or a long? Don't worry about it. All your top 15 or 20 or so plays are going to be right here. Okay. Besides, first and second down, those are normal down and distances. Everything's going to be right there. And besides, you only got like 15 or 20 plays to worry about. You really need to use your third and fourth situations. These are really important, especially your third and long, third and whatever. And again, if you want to get meticulous about it, if you just got your top 3 or 4 third and shorts, yes, put them right here. Adjust these if needed. If you need to take a rating off or a play off of this list, you can just go to halfback quick base, for example, put that thing down to 0. And it will not be there next time you go back around to it, okay? So again, it's up to you if you want to go and just put in the 3 or 4 third and longs that you like, maybe the third mediums you like, or put all of your third downs plays in all 3. That way they'll all be there. Again, keep your list small, like 9 or 12 plays at the most. And again, do that for every one of these, but the biggest ones you really need to worry about are your first downs all the way up to your fourths. You can do this for every single one of these if you want to. It just takes some time and a little legwork to go through all that, okay? But once you have all this set up, think about it. You're going to be in the game. All you have to do is go to coach suggestions, and it goes to the exact 9 plays that you put for that particular situation. You pick it, and it takes like 3 button presses, and you're ready to roll. Okay, so between all of what I mentioned in the favorites, not having to use the full raw playbook, using audibles, and using the game plan to create your coach suggestions, I think you have enough there to put a good game plan together. That way you spend less time calling plays and more time picking the right plays and having some success with it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.